Question 8 from Spot the Mistake, and in this particular one the mistake was made on the first line. So instinct might be, because you can see a -8 over here, to add on 8. That can be done, but you can't just add it onto the -3. Because all of these terms are being divided by 2, you have to leave that alone until you've multiplied 3 by the 2. So you'd have to write it like this if you were to add on 8. And then, to tidy this up, because we've got these two terms divided by 2, we'd have to times by 2, which would cancel out the divide by 2 under all of those, but you would need to double this term and this term. So a more efficient way is to start with the times by 2 and always deal with any fractions first if you can. And all you have to remember is that because all of this is divided by 2, timesing by 2 will get rid of that divide by 2. On the right hand side you need to multiply everything by 2. Now we've got x's on both sides. So what I'm going to do is, because there are fewer x's on the left, that's the one I'm going to deal with by taking away x. Don't forget that will mean that the -3 is left alone, but it needs the negative sign in front of it. If you take away x from this side, you've got 7x minus 16. So we've got x's on one side only, that's good, but we need to get rid of the numbers on both sides. So I'm going to add on 16 to get rid of the -16. Starting on -3 and adding on the 16, 3 of that will be used up to get to 0. I'll be left with 13 more to add on, and that will be equal to 7x. As always, don't be put off the fact that 13 is not a multiple of 7. You can still solve it. So what we're going to do now is divide by 7, because x is being multiplied by 7. We're going to undo it. So we've got 13 over 7 equals x. So this one is going to be a little bit fundamentally harder to check, because we're dealing with fractions, but we're going to do it. So our x is 13 over 7. We're going to take away 3 from that, and then we're going to divide it by 2. And in theory that should be exactly the same as 4 times 13 over 7 minus 8. Alright, the first thing I need to do is do 13 over 7 minus 3. If you haven't got a calculator, then the way to do that is to convert 3, which is 3 over 1, into a fraction over 7. So multiply the bottom by 7 and multiply the top by 7. So that means I've got 13 over 7 minus 21 over 7. So I'm going to be taking away 8 over 7. On the right hand side, 4 times 13 over 7, so 4 times 13 is 52 over 7, and then I'm going to be taking away 8. And just to make that work slightly better, as a fraction I'm going to do the same thing. So instead of 8, I'm going to make it 56 over 7, because that's the same as 8. So final step, negative 8 over 7, if I halve it, it's the same as negative 4 over 7, and you can see on the right hand side 52 minus 56 leaves with the negative 4 over 7. So it is right. though I can understand if that checking process is something you'll just be less than keen to do. But there's a final example of solving equations.